Welcome to Season 3 of The Short Score, the Team Roping Journal's weekly news update show, where you can find the latest on the sports leaders from the jackpot world of the USTRC and the World Series of Team Roping to the pro rodeo ranks. I'm Chelsea Shaffer.
And I'm Kaitlin Gustave.
And we'll be your hosts. Hey, Kaitlin.
Hey, Chelsea.
You are back in snowy country from Texas.
I am.
Yeah, how was it?
It was actually really cold in Texas when I went. At least the first day. First and second day, and then the third day was pretty nice.
That's good.
Yeah, so it wasn't too bad.
Well, Kaitlin was in Texas for the Wildfire. She roped, too. She got to rope in the Pro-Am.
I ran down the arena. I wouldn't call it roping, but...
Well, we're proud of you anyways. Did Nick Griggs, our sales rep, did he rope?
No, he couldn't make it down.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Busy. Good. I'm
busy
glad
man.
he was selling ads.
Busy man.
Glad. Good for you, Nick. Glad you didn't rope. Glad
Yeah.
you were selling ads.
But I got mounted out, and I didn't do very well. But it's fine. I am fortunate that I got to go rope and work and ride some pretty sweet horses.
If I were more motivational, I'd say something about that man in the arena quote. I don't know if it was Winston Churchill or Julius Caesar or somebody said something about the man in the arena.
Theodore Roosevelt.
Was it Theodore Roosevelt?
I'm pretty sure Fastback just posted something about it the other day.
I feel like that's one of those quotes, though, that gets misattributed all the time.
Probably.
I'm like a habitual quote checker. I need to know who really said it. I'm wrong a lot of the time, but I like to know. I like to at least try to know.
You're trying hard.
Yeah, I'm trying hard. Just not very good at it. Okay, so here we are. We are just back from the Wildfire. Mm-hmm. This episode is all about the Wildfire. Mm-hmm. It's a good episode of the Short Score because it's more like a long score because you've got some interviews to sprinkle in with who?
We have the Gunslinger Opens. That was Luke Brown and Travis Graves. They won that 33 and 33 on 5 head. We have the breakaway winner, and that was Sarah Moresi. She was 13.08 seconds on 4 head of calves. And we have the Open. Obviously, we can't forget about the Wildfire Open to the World. And that went to Charlie Crawford and Logan Medlin. They were 51 and 54 on 6 head. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also that one's really special too because I don't know if you guys have read about it or heard about it, but they got a leg on one of their steers and the flagger missed it, and Logan went up and he realized that they gave him a time like clean on that run, and Logan went up and kind of told them like, hey, we need a leg. Like, I don't know what you're going to do about it, but we got a leg, so that's not fair. You know, they could have lost the roping with that leg, but they ended up winning it. So I think, good karma. Mm-hmm. If you fess up, it's always good to be honest with your roping and everything that happens.
I'm looking at the results of the 13.5 too. Josh Johnson from Cactus Saddles got a big win for him. That's exciting. Smiley, congratulations. With Ty Daniel Haler there, and they won $12,000. So we're going to review all that in this episode. That'll be fun.
Mm-hmm. And we have the interview with the Gunslinger 15.5 5-steer winners. That's Zach Kirkpatrick and Pace Blanchard. They roped phenomenal. That was the only hat throw of the day after they roped their final steers. That was awesome.
Well, before we get to those interviews, let's talk about what we've got coming up as far as USTRC ropings to get you qualified to rope in April 21st to the 26th in Fort Worth. So right now, coming up, the 7th and the 9th this weekend is the Brazos Valley Classic, U.S. Roping in Bryan, Texas. The 14th through the 16th is the Muddy River Classic in Memphis, Tennessee. The 15th and 16th is 2G Productions Heartbreaker in McAlester, Oklahoma. The 22nd to the 23rd of February, Jeff Smith Productions has the Northeast Kansas Classic. The 22nd to the 23rd of February is All-Star Team Roping in Carthage, Missouri. That's an NFTR earnings roping. The USTRC Downs Classic, that's a great old roping in Albuquerque, New Mexico, the 22nd to the 23rd. And the USTRC's Florida Championships at J3 Ranch and Arena in Sarasota, Florida are the 28th to the 1st of March. So those are the ropings that are coming up you need to pay attention to for the USTRC.
And then for the World Series, we got a couple coming up in Guthrie, Oklahoma. Kicks off this Saturday, February 8th at the Lazy E Arena. There's also roping in Loveland, Colorado that kicks off Saturday, February 8th, Mountain States Cattle Company. And Sunday, February 9th, is Amarillo, Texas qualifier. They got a 14.5, 13.5, 12.5, and 11.5. That's an MC3 roping. And then the following weekend for World Series ropings, don't miss out. Thursday, February 13th, is Stephenville, Texas qualifier and a 14.5 Heartland. That's Shelley Productions. And then again on the 13th is Wickenburg, Arizona, Yost Events, Title Fights.
Title Fights. Caitlin's going.
I am going.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure if I'm roping yet.
No?
No.
You think you might just go and hang out?
Yeah.
One way to do it.
Looking for a run. Runs fell through.
Gotcha.
Then on February 14th is Memphis, Tennessee qualifier. That's a JX2 Productions. And more to come. Listen in next week for more updates on ropings that you need to attend in the World Series.
Of course, those ropings are all on the USTRC and World Series website, as well as on teamropingjournal.com. We've got all the latest events on our site and on our Facebook page. So if you cannot say you didn't know a roping was coming up, especially if you got a Global Handicaps card, because those are all on Global Handicaps. You can even sign up to track the times at all those ropings at globalhandicaps.com. There's all kinds of good stuff on there. You've got to sign up, even if you don't, even if you're not sure whether or not you're going to rope. Most of the weekend ropings you're going to go to, whether or not they're World Series or U.S. ropings, you're going to need a Global Handicaps card to participate. So we want you in there. We want you in the database so that roping can be more fair, more equitable across the board, and that's what Global Handicaps is all about. So head on over to Global Handicaps. One more thing, though, before we get to the Wildfire winners interviews. I want to make sure you all know the rope horse sale at the USTRC National Finals. It's going to be managed by Premier Equine Sales. There's nobody like Steve Friskup in the business. Everybody that's got a good one is going to have them in that sale. The number to call to get your horse consigned is 806-786-7539. It's at the National Finals, the USTRC's National Finals, presented by Cinch in Fort Worth, Texas. Yay! All right, without further ado, here is Kaitlin. She was on the road interviewing the winners of the Wildfire.
Hey everyone, welcome to The Score. This is Kaitlin Gustave here, and I am sitting down with the Wildfire 2022 winners of the Open. We have Charlie Crawford and Logan Medlin. So, you guys just won the Open. What's kind of going through your heads right now?
I was just glad to catch 6. The steers were big and strong, and it was just kind of a survival type deal. The conditions weren't easy, but just kind of tried to stay focused and do my job.
What about you, Charlie?
That was fun. I've been coming to this roping since it started, and that's a while ago, like 98 maybe, or 99. I think 99 might have been the first time, and so yeah. 2020, and so it's finally fun to get my first buckle. So.
First win for both of you guys here at the Wildfire?
Yes. Yeah.
Has something to check off the bucket list?
Yeah, for sure.
One of them.
This is a roping that, growing up, you watch the tapes, and of every year I've got them from every year, dating way back when they're at Salado and everything. And the buckles are unique. There's not really another one like it. So yeah, it's definitely a bucket list deal.
That's awesome. And you guys were 51 and 54 on 6 head. Can you walk me through all 6 runs and what kind of happened?
The first one, steer kind of tried pretty good and stepped to the left and kind of checked off when the head rope went on. I kind of got a little bit by him, and good thing Charlie just kind of kept pulling him because it took me a little bit longer to get back over there, and kind of got by the first one, and then I actually screwed up the third one. I ended up getting a leg, but we kind of just stayed hooked. And fourth one, I think we came back and we're 6 maybe, and then come back in the 5th round with the same one we had in the first round. And we got by him a little better than we did the first time, and we were 7, and then drew a really good steer in the short round, and just kind of Charlie laid him up, and I just tried to catch. So.
Do you have anything to add to your runs?
Man, Logan really did a great job of healing our 5th one. That's the one that did not want to take it, and once we had the leg, I caused the leg. The barrier kind of got the tail of my rope and come back and was kind of got in my way. And then when I roped the steer, went to pull my slack, I couldn't find it. Like I got hung right there and I couldn't find it. And then I dropped my rope a little bit, and then it was just it was just a train wreck after that. I about fell off and steer was going all over the place, and he did a good job of just getting a leg out of it. That was my bad and stuff. But yeah, then just kind of roped our way back in it, and then drew a good one in the short round. And just it was fun just to have to go catch. I like that.
Oh yeah.
So,
And speaking of the leg, the flaggers didn't catch it at first when you got a leg. Kind of talk about that. Just going
well,
up.
I didn't even know it because I've lost my hearing in my left ear, so I don't even know half the time what's going on. And the flagger came up to me and was like, "Man, that's pretty dang cool what Logan did." And I'm like, "I'm not even sure what you want to catch me up." He's like, "Oh, he came up there and told you had a leg." So we did have a leg. He's like, "Yeah, but we didn't know you had a leg." Oh, that was. I mean, that's and that like me and Logan are good buds, and yeah, I've looked up to his family and love roping with him, and great guy, but. To know you're rowing with someone too that's got integrity, like that's no matter what, that's the coolest thing you can have. So that was admire him even more. So that's pretty cool.
I say it's very.
I like that stuff.
It's kind of rare, which I don't want to narc on anyone or anything, but it's rare to have someone go admit like, "Hey, the flagger, you missed." What was? I mean, obviously you went up, you spoke up, told them you slipped one. Kind of what was going through your head and like. I mean, that's pretty different. I think that's really cool that you did that.
You know, I'd like to say I slipped a leg, but I didn't even do that. I just roped. I just roped the inside leg, and I didn't really notice that he called me clean when the flag dropped. And as I was riding out, they called us. I don't remember our time, and I could tell that it didn't have a leg with it. So I was like, that ain't right. So actually, I got back around there behind the chutes where I got my rope bag and stuff, and I thought, son of a gun, maybe I did get him by 2 feet, but I didn't think so. I had my wife send me the run video. Sure enough, I was like, I got a leg. So I just rode around there to Drew and said, I don't really know what needs to be done or whatever. I said, but I roped a leg on the last one. Your flagger just didn't see it. It was kind of off down there a ways, and I said, I
think the flagger was looking at me just to have money on whether I was going to stay on or not.
Yeah. So I just told him.
I think I had him distracted.
I got a leg on the last one. He goes, well, I appreciate it. And by the time we rode in for our fourth one, I was listening, and he rattled off 30 or something. So then I knew they had tacked it on. So yeah, we just kind of stayed hooked the rest of the roping, and worked out. So.
And to have a leg to win the roping and you guys came back high call. Did you know you guys were coming back high call?
Charlie didn't. Charlie was thinking that we were going to have to press to come back. He goes,
I wanted to make. I said, hey, they do pay a short round.
Yeah,
right?
he asked me, they pay a short
and
round.
He looks at me like.
I said, well, I really think we'll be probably top 5.
We need to win the short round, really.
And he goes, really? I said, yeah. I said, I could be wrong. And then they called off the short round, and
I asked him. I said, so are we first out in the short round? He's like, no, we're last out.
Yeah.
It's a good kind of last.
Yeah.
He's like, you realize we're winning it, right? I had no idea. I can't hear nothing, so I don't even know what's going on. And so yeah, I just try to make sure I'm there in the box. That's my main goal.
See, I told you I had to ask about that.
Yeah.
Something you can't miss.
Yeah.
And okay, so obviously you guys had a leg, your high call back, and you guys made a pretty decent run in that short round.
That was a good steer. I mean, I can't take any credit for any of that. That steer that's literally run right in my loop, and that was the kind you want for sure.
Were you guys what were you guys thinking watching those teams before you guys, top 11 teams before you guys go? What was kind of mentally, what was going through your
We've
head?
been practicing quite a bit together and stuff, and we go through our times. Like we call that, all right, let's be 4, all right, let's be 5 and 6. So we call out some stuff and like that where we're that way we kind of do that. We both kind of know like he has an idea like, all right, well we just got to be this, like kind of what I'm going to do, And I just made sure I got out and rode to him, and then all of a sudden he was just right there. And so, I mean, that was usually faster than I normally would be if I had V8, but the steer was just good enough. We just made our run and without having to overthink it, you know what I mean? So.
Do you have anything to add about your
I mean, we just drew good. I didn't, backing in there or watching the short round. I mean, I think unless something drastic happens, a guy can't. For me, I can't back in there and be so easily manipulated. I don't back in there telling myself where I'm going to throw, but a guy, I want to ride around there, ride the right kind of shape, but whenever I see my first good throw, take it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no sense in being scared of the moment. And I've been in the past, I have been. And something you just kind of live and learn, and that's the way I look at it. Just be smart but aggressive.
And obviously, we have to note your guys' phenomenal horses. Kind of talk about your horse and name, age, kind of. They're pretty clutch, I feel like. So.
Yeah, Nasty. He's probably one of my better horses I've had. I rode him at the NFR. He's the only horse that I've ever had that's good at short setups and good at Cheyenne. And he's a run and bred horse, and he's an ex-barrel horse. And, but he scores good, and when they're out there is when he actually does his best. Like, he'll try to outrun them. So it helps me to where I don't have to just try to kick and try to panic. He just everything just comes to me where it's easy to kind of see in those setups, and I love that horse. So,
and which that running bred I felt like was pretty handy in this setup because the score was so long today.
Yeah, and luckily he's lazy because a lot of running ones that I've had it's hard to kind of keep under control, and he was broke really good. Joseph Harrison actually started him, and so he's broke really good. Yeah, it's just nice to be able to have one that can go that fast, but then not be out of control. So.
Gotcha. And Logan, what were you doing on?
I was riding Drago. He's 11 years old. I bought him from a guy named Rusty Hennard in New Mexico. That's where I'm originally from. He ranches out there next to us, and I'd seen the horse a long time, and Rusty, that guy's a real good hand with the horse, and he broke him, and I always told him I wanted a chance at him if he ever wanted to sell him, and one day he decided he'd sell him, and he I guess he was 6 at the time, and so I bought him, and he had started him and took him to a few little places, but I didn't really have anything to ride at the time, and so I just threw him in the fire, and I haven't rode a whole lot of them, and my career hasn't been that long, but he's been the best one I've ever had, and he's just easy. You can ride him at the Wildfire, and then I'll ride him at Fort Worth tomorrow. I mean, he's just pretty universal, and he's a blessing, that's for sure.
That's awesome. Awesome.
And the cool thing is too, like I've worked with a lot of guys and stuff like that, and some of the best chemistry that I've had with guys, like the horses fit each other. You know, like strides and timing and everything, and that horse is just always there in a good spot behind that, you know, and stuff. So it makes it to where it's like you can feel a rhythm and timing to it, and there's a lot to that when it comes to winning.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And just to wrap this up, you guys split $24,000. How's that gonna kind of help you guys going down the road, and what's the money gonna be going towards?
Yeah, I mean it definitely helps. A guy in the wintertime, we don't get to go to that many rodeos. The rodeos are big, and there's a chance for a lot of money, but you know, it's fun. They got really good jackpots in the wintertime too, and to hit it this one, and you know, hopefully a start to more wins coming in the future. So it was much needed for sure.
And the timing of it's good too, like it's for your confidence and stuff like that. We were really close to getting them at Vegas, and I dropped the ball a little bit and stuff. So it was nice just to kind of get the timing back and confidence back, you know, this time of year, because momentum is key this time of year. Like I say, you don't have very many options, but the ones you do are huge. So you want to have it peaked out at the right time. So hopefully this will help get us going all the way through Houston.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Well, awesome, Charlie, Logan. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
Good luck for the rest of the year.
All right.
Appreciate
Thank you.
I am sitting with Luke Brown and Travis Graves. They just won the Wildfire, the 22nd year Gunslinger roping. Talk about this win right now, you guys.
Oh, it's always great when you come and win 5,000. You know, that's always a really good roping for us, and just glad to come over here and do good.
What about you, Luke?
Yeah, it's a huge relief since I missed yesterday and lost that money, and then to come back today to get all our money back, it's awesome.
And you guys, I mean, that short arm kind of got wolfy. Everyone was trying to be fast, and you guys came back high column and just kind of made a business from that. Talk about that going into high column, just kind of.
Well, I think we had to be 8-3, I think, or something, and had a pretty good lead on them. So we just had to go catch our steer, and that's what we did.
Yeah, I knew we had, and I thought that steer was, well, somebody told me he was pretty good, and I almost let him a little bit too far, and then I was headed to him, and I was thinking, man, you better hurry up and rope. you're getting in a bind here. And of course, Travis healed him fast. And I knew he was going to do that, so it didn't matter.
Awesome. And talk about the horses you guys were on today.
I rode my mare, Scarlet, that I've had for a little while, and I honestly thought the roping was in her, was a four-header, because it's called the Gunslinger for some reason. I don't know why I thought it was, but I get here as a five-header, and I brought one horse, and I was already feeling sorry for her before I roped, but no matter. She had to deal with it, so.
Did good all day.
Yeah, she did good. She did great. She's easy. She's so easy.
And how old is she?
She's 13, I think. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
She looked really nice.
Yeah, she's pretty fun to have.
I rode Lunchbox, the horse I've had for a couple of years now, and I've rode him at Odessa and I've rode him around. He's just a good horse, and he worked really good today.
And how old's Lunchbox?
He's 14.
14.
Mhm.
Awesome. And you guys roped yesterday, and so like you said, you had a mess yesterday. How do you make a comeback to come back and win?
I was really mad last night. I was still up at 1:30 because we had a leg on one of them, but the roping it kind of fell apart. Steers were tough, and I mean it was a true blue Wildfire open roping. I mean you had to be on your game, and we battled back pretty good. In the fifth steer, I lost my rope because I didn't ride my horse very good. It's the one thing I have to do on that horse is just ride him, and he's the easiest horse to ride ever. But I was really mad when I left here. And I stayed up I was going to go to sleep earlier, but Swamp People come on, and I watched it for a little bit. So at 1:30, I finally went to sleep, and I woke up this morning and was pretty determined not to mess up today. Only did one time, so I think I conquered it.
It's not too bad.
Yeah.
What did you do?
Man, I didn't do any good either. We went out on our fourth steer, and like I said, it was really easy roping, and it paid really good. It's always disappointing when you don't do good, but that's just the way it is. You know, you got to have a short memory, just like everybody always talks about, and you know, tomorrow's a new day. You know, that's what you got to keep in mind. The main thing, you got to do your job. You know, that's all you can control. You know, I can just control what I do, and he can only control what he does. And usually, if you do your job, you win. So that's how I look at it, like that.
Gotcha. And going in on a five-header, and you guys entered a four times?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you guys, I guess, mentally prepare for that? Because that is a lot of steers and a lot of runs. Just how do you mentally prepare for all those runs?
Well, you know, anytime it's go four times and the best guys in the world are here, it's usually going to be pretty tough. So you know that kind of going into it, and it's hard to go through the whole rope and enter four times and not screw up. You know, to stay disciplined and do your job. Usually, it's because you get to going so fast. That was what I was trying to do today. Was really trying not to beat myself as far as rope as fast as I could, but not before I, take a bad shot to where it's going to make me rope a leg or miss. But that's what I was concentrating on today.
Yeah, I think it's like a mentality thing. You kind of know where the area that you need to turn them at to stay in the rope, and then when you go outside of the area, then it makes you have to press and press and press. So that's where the mistakes come in, is trying to stay within the roping. Of course, if you draw good, it's easy to do, but when you draw runners, you gotta take a little bit more of a chance to stay in that area, but you can't miss either. So that's the hard part about when you get to these open ropings that we go to, is you can't miss, but you can't be too safe either. You gotta be sharp the whole time. And it's funny. It's like, as much as roping has changed through the 15 years I've been out here or whatever, fundamentals still. You still got to ride a good horse. You still got to rope sharp, as fast as they are nowadays. But you still have to go through the fundamentals, and I'm learning that the hard way, I think. But there's guys out there now that, I'm watching Dustin squeeze it. It's like nobody even hollers for him anymore.
Yeah.
He just does it so, like, it's the greatest heading shots I've ever seen, and then people just like, well, that's just Dustin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just crazy. It's crazy.
On Team Roping Journal's Instagram and Facebook, that is the top video from the World Series finale, is Dustin reaching at the World
there's
Series
better ones.
finale. And
Yeah.
There was one today.
Yeah, definitely.
Him and T
T-Wade kept
Yeah,
going
T-Wade.
back and forth today.
T-Wade,
Yeah.
same way, man.
It's amazing.
It is amazing, and I had a leg on one, and I was debating on, like, I was trying to figure out how fast I need to be to halfway stay in it, and then I was honest with him. You can't do that. You're going to miss. And anyway, I mean, it's just amazing. But to win and make a living, it still ain't changed. You know, you ride sharp and rope sharp and do your job the best you can. You'll get they pay a lot of money everywhere we go. You can make a living roping.
So do you think you're going to have to get some clinics with T-Wade and Dustin?
I don't think it's fundamentally possible.
No, I think that's
I'm too short, too old.
That's crazy how they can do that. I don't know. It's just, I guess they did it there since they was little kids. You know, it's just comfortable for them. It's good watching. You know, it's amazing watching.
So watching them do that, even though you guys knew you guys were still in the roping, like watching guys like that going around to reach, does that put any pressure on you guys, or like how do you kind of push that out?
No. They're only doing it because they got legs or whatever. They're just trying to battle back and like I said, no. And it's they're probably the best of all times at that. I mean, as far as I've ever seen, but as far as making money, you know, that's you have to have them in that predicament. And as long as I keep myself out of that predicament, I'll be all right. Yeah, because we're in a bad jam if we are.
Awesome. Well, now after this win, what's next for you guys, roping wise?
Tomorrow I'm up at San Angelo with the rodeo, so that's where I'm headed.
Yeah, me too.
No, Dustin, squeeze it.
Yeah, he gets to be too flat tomorrow.
Yeah, you're gonna go be 2 or something.
I'm gonna be 6.
And you have San Angelo as well?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Well, awesome. Congratulations on this win, you guys.
All right, thank you.
See you down the road.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey everyone, I have the winner of the 2020 Wildfire Open Breakaway. It's the 22nd year of the Wildfire, Sarah Morrissey. You just won the Wildfire Breakaway. What's going through your head right now?
It's pretty darn exciting, yeah. To rope 4 calves in a row, and it was a tough roping, and yeah, I was pretty excited. My horse worked great.
In tough roping, you came back high call and made an aggressive run in that short round.
Yes.
Talk about that run.
Well, I just had to take the shot that I'd been taking all night long, and I went ahead and did that. I scored good, and yeah, just kind of launched it out there. And
I was gonna say there was no safetying up. It was right then and there.
Well, I mean, that was a tough short round. You know, there were some fast times, and I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of going for first in the short round. Didn't get it done, but you know, first in the average is pretty sweet.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And you came last year for the first year that they had the breakaway.
Yes, ma'am.
What's the difference compared from last year? How did you do here last year, and then what kind of do you think it helped you?
Last year, I'm pretty sure I probably missed my first one, and you know, just had to kind of go at it, and didn't get a piece of any of it, you know. So this year, yeah, I just kind of had a little different, you know, I scored a lot better, and that set my whole run up a lot better. My horse was feeling good. So yeah, it all just kind of came together, thank goodness.
And you keep talking about how good your horse is. Talk about that horse a little bit more.
Well, you know, he's had a few struggles over the winter a little bit, and you know, just wasn't feeling right. And these last 2 weeks, he's just been firing and been working really good. So he must be ready to be on the winter circle again too. So yeah, it's good.
And what's his name and age?
His name is Oreo. He is now, I guess, 13 years old as the calendar goes.
Oh, nice.
I've had him since he was 4. And, yeah, I've basically trained him with the help of a few people along the way.
That's
and,
awesome.
yeah, it's been good.
Awesome. You just won a pretty good paycheck here. What's next after this roping?
Yeah, after this one, we head to Bryan, Texas for that memorial roping there. And then, you know, then we've got things like the Patriot and a few other jackpots. And, yeah, there's just a bunch more things coming up. The American semifinals, yeah. Can't forget about that.
The year of breakaway.
Right, well, you know what? It's definitely, like, it's the second year of breakaway,
Yeah.
you know. I mean, we kind of, you know, coined that in 2019 as well. And 2020 is not slowing down, so it's really good. We've been having the breakaway ropings in the rodeos up in the Northwest in the Cumberland River Circuit for a few years now, and now it's starting to expand, so it's really exciting.
It's awesome. It's awesome. And it's late. It's when everyone hears this podcast, you're going to be hearing it during the day. But when we record this podcast, it is 11:40 at night.
Jeez.
And the breakaway just got over.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Sure enough, 11:40.
It is past my horse's dinner time.
Yeah. So talk about that. I mean, it's a long night. That breakaway started maybe 15 minutes after 7, and it's almost midnight. Kind of talk about just the night, like how can you stay so mentally aggressive?
Well, I think it was so darn cold that you just kind of kept moving, and and it helps to catch, right? I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's definitely not as long a night when you're making it to the short round as when you're not, because most of the time I'm not making it to the short round in these average deals, and so it's really exciting to be able to do it. And so
awesome. And you had Abigail Hampton. She's the reigning champ of this exact roping. She is right on your toes, right behind you at second callback. What was going through your head waiting for her to rope her calf?
Oh, I was just cheering her on too. Yeah. I was watching her score. I thought she was, going to get out, and she just pushed it a little bit too much. She was going for the win as well, and she ropes so well all the time. And so I mean, it was good to follow her. You don't wish a broken barrier on anybody, and I was back there cheering her on as she was going through. But, so no, it's good. Abby ropes awesome all the time, and we spend a lot of time in the practice pen together as well. So it's good.
That's awesome. And did you rope at Fort Worth, or you entered at Fort Worth?
I did rope at Fort Worth. Yes, I roped in bracket 3. I got some money out of the first round, and then I was just too long in the second round to win any money, so I don't get to come back.
Gotcha.
That was a fantastic experience. Great facility, unbelievable hospitality. Yeah, it was a top notch.
So did you ride Oreo there too?
I did. Yeah.
So talk about Oreo. I mean, there you can kind of go with your calf, and here you had to score him.
Yeah. Well, that horse he does what I ask him to. If we don't do it right, it's 98% of the time my fault. He is as honest as they come, and and if we're struggling, then I know something's not right. Whether it be me or whether it's just him tired or not feeling good or something. But no, he is as honest as the day is long. So yeah.
And just a little bit of background information. What do you do for a living?
Well, I was a pharmacist
Okay.
for 11, 12 years for corporate America. And I quit my job back in July.
Okay.
And I sold my house. And I went on the breakaway trail.
Nice.
So I've been jobless for like 6 months now. I'm ready to contribute back to society a little bit.
Good,
but
it's helpful that you won tonight.
Yes, so thank goodness I was able to get a check tonight, and that way I can keep going.
And so, I mean, breakaway, it's now starting to be shown more at the PRC rodeos. So that's just kind of what your plan is to kind of go on.
I mean, the ultimate goal is to rope in that little yellow arena.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And I think it's going to happen.
Sometime soon.
I can't give a timeline, but it's going to be soon. Especially with all the fan feedback, the committee feedback. Everybody's excited to have us, and it's a fast event. The people in the stands, they like seeing one more girls event. And it's quick, it's fast, it doesn't take up much time.
Yeah,
it's easy to understand. So yeah, it's just kind of a win for everybody. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Sarah. Congratulations on this win.
Thank you very much. I appreciate having me.
Hey everyone, I have Zach Kirkpatrick and Case Furniture here with me. They just won the 15.5 6-year at the Wildfire 22. You guys, what's going through your heads right now?
I'm going to go to every pro rodeo I can. I'm gonna enter everything I possibly can. That's what's going through my head. Yeah.
That's the way I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting pretty broke before I go.
Yeah, we're both rookies this year in the Piercier. He's a calf roper, and we've been going a bunch. Denver, Odessa. We got a bunch of rodeos next week, so it was good to just get some money under, in our pocket, so we can go and stay out there.
Are you guys are partners in the rodeo?
No, he just calf ropes.
You're just calf ropes.
Yeah, and I heel for Seth Hall. So.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, and you guys split $12,000, so obviously that's a pretty good paycheck, like you guys just said. Kind of talk about, I mean, it's kind of different to have number 15 roping to 6 steers. So kind of talk about that.
Just gonna knock them down, pretty much. I mean,
Yeah.
we had a barrier on one and still came out on top, but just rope them all.
Yeah, something that I really focus on is even at the bigger opens, everyone backs off. And that's something I told him at the World Series finals, the U.S. finals here. It's just that, you have to stay so aggressive. You have to be smart, but you have to be aggressive. So I don't think we really backed off any. I mean, he kind of let the last one out, but we still didn't back off. So.
Gotcha. And then watching that short round steer, you were whipping.
I was trying to get first. Yeah, I mean, I just tried to do all I could right there to let Pace get another throw, but it worked out.
And you were the first hat throw of the weekend.
That's right.
Said that's
That
his
was
first. You
exciting.
said that's your first.
First ever.
First ever
Yeah.
hat throw, and it looked exciting.
I'm still excited. So, yeah. No, it was fun. It was fun.
That's awesome. And kind of, you were telling me a story about the U.S. finals. With Zach.
Yeah. A couple years ago, we were third high call for like 40,000, and I healed him and lost my dally. Ended up losing a leg, and Zach's one of my best buds, so I always wanted to win with him, and I know right now is pretty big for us, and we really need some money to be able to keep rodeoing. So I definitely wanted this.
So going in to the short round, talk about kind of like your mindset going into that short round. Like you wanted to win right there.
Well, I try not to get too far ahead of myself. Like, I try and just stay focused on my position, and I let the rest kind of be reaction more than anything. I feel like as long as I'm in good position, I can heal any steer. So.
What do we have to be, 12?
Yeah, 12 or 13.
That was the game plan. I might just go roping and let you sit him down.
Do what you could do on it.
Yes, ma'am.
Gotcha. And what were you heading on today?
That's an old calf horse I used to rope calves on, and I didn't have a head horse. I started heading, and I just kind of messed around and started turning steers on him, and we got better and better, so now he's my head horse.
And what's his name and age?
Diesel, and he's 15.
Gotcha. And what were you doing?
Ranger, he's 18. Yeah, he's my old veteran. Just something I know, like for a 6-head, it was something I know that I can go catch 20 in a row on and not have to worry about anything. So he just gives me a consistent throw every time. Yeah.
And where are you guys from?
Crosbyton, Texas. It's right around Lubbock.
And I'm
Panhandle.
And I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Gotcha. And then are you guys aren't staying in school, right? Or are you?
No.
No.
You
Not
guys
anymore.
aren't?
Yeah. I just finished.
Awesome. And what do you guys do? Are you guys working? Obviously, you guys are gonna hit the rodeo trail.
Yeah. No, I'm just riding horses, training horses, selling horses, and rodeoing full time. I finally finished school, and that was my big goal, to finish school and then go full time rodeoing.
And where'd you graduate from?
Tarleton.
And what about you, Zach?
I went to South Plains and Leveland and WT for a semester, but I quit going. Now I'm working on the family ranch and rodeoing.
Well, congratulations, guys, and good luck on your rookie year this year. That's super exciting.
Thank you.
I will be keeping track of that, so hopefully we get to talk again.
I hope so.
It'll be fun.
Hope so.
All right, hey everyone. I'm sitting here with two of my fat owners, Josh Johnson and Ty Daniel Howard. You guys came in. What callback were you guys in the short run?
Fourth.
Callback. And kind of watching them kind of fall apart, those last two teams. What was your guys' game plan going into the short round right there?
Well, we had our first two steers. They ran really hard and they weren't great steers, but we got by them. And our second two were good. So I was just trying to get a good start and just catch them and because at that point, I mean, there wasn't a lot of people that had caught anyway. So
Yeah, I think it'd be like 10 to take
Yeah.
the lead. So I just was going to let him turn him, take 2 swings, and heal him was my plan. So it's kind of just that's my safe thing to do, is just take a swing over him and make sure I catch him.
Completed the course.
Exactly.
You guys are 43-31. That's awesome. Split 12,000 win.
that's really awesome.
That's even better.
That's even better. And like you guys were even just kind of talking about each other about your buckles. What has made you just kind of win at the Wildfire for you guys?
Well, I mean, for me, I've had a pretty dry year anyway, and just to win anything is awesome. But to win this and these beautiful buckles and to actually win a roping, it's awesome to me. So, and we were talking. I mean, this is the first time we've known each other for a while.
Long
but this
time.
is the first time that we wrote. Just our numbers kind of synced up in this one, and it was the first time and we hit them.
Yeah, no, it was good. It's the first time we've roped together, and like he said, we've been friends for a long time. Just our numbers never seemed to be just right, and now they are. They aligned to be a 13 team, so it worked out in our favor. So
Hopefully you don't get bumped anytime soon.
No.
surely not. They've got me plenty lately.
And talk about your guys' horse that you guys were on today.
So mine was I bought mine right after the American last year. Actually, that year in Vegas, before I guess it was 2018, my horse actually died out there in Vegas, and so and Kent Haley, he's a good friend of mine, and he set me up with this horse, and I've had him this whole year, and just kind of we're just now starting to click together, and you can head and heel on him. He's a really good horse, and I mean I can't thank Ken enough for setting me up with him.
That's awesome. And what's the horse's name?
His name's Fire Truck. He's a red roan, and he'll be 12 next month.
That's awesome. Awesome. And what breed do you want?
I have a bay. His name's Goof. I think he's 14 or 15. The guy's name's Goof. And he's 14, 15 years old. He's been around the world. You'd think he'd be used to everything, but he's goofy about the silliest things. I mean, so that's why his name's Goof. That horse has probably been the success to my healing, honestly. I've had him for probably a year and a half. I had a sorrel heel horse that kind of got crippled when I was first kind of getting back to healing, and he had gotten hurt, and a really good friend of mine, Bobby Simmons, had this bay, and he brought him to me one day and said, here, take this horse, see if you like him, ride him, buy him, whatever, just, but I think this horse will fit you. And he brought him to me one day, and when I started riding that horse, I was a 6+, and a year later, I'm an 8. And I think it's all of that. I mean, that horse has helped me so much, and very, very appreciative of Bobby. That's the horse I rode in Vegas and won second in the finale out there on him. And then was here today and was fortunate enough to win the 13 with Josh. So that's the horse I have, and very, very fortunate to have him. But Goof, he's a doozy.
And you mentioned the finale. What roping did you win second in?
The 12 finale.
Awesome. You work for Cactus Saddlery. What do you do there?
I'm the general manager. I've been there, I think it's been 13 years in March, I think. But I mean, I've started in shipping, and I've done every job there. Now I'm the general manager, so
Head honcho now.
Yeah.
so I get all the problems now. But no, it's a good job. It's fun. I have just our group. Cactus Rose, Barry Berg, and Ricky Bolin. I mean, our group is awesome, and I can't appreciate those guys enough. And they taught me so much, and I'm just lucky to be there, really.
That's awesome.
It's a great group. It's a great group of people to be around. I was fortunate enough to work for these guys all through college during Vegas, the trade show out there, and it was a blessing. That's the best group of people I've ever been around. And I think I worked for them for 4 years out there total. And like he said, that's the best people to be around. So.
And is that how you guys met, kind of through Cactus Saddlery and Cactus Rose?
Yep.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
So I used to live with Drew Stewart, and Josh and Drew used to work together over there at Cactus Saddlery, and that's how I got to know Josh. And I guess that was probably, I first started working for him in 2012. I guess it was 2012. I think was the first year I worked for Cactus out in Vegas. So
That's
known
awesome.
Josh for about 8 years now.
Hey, That's awesome.
Yep.
And then, like you guys said, you guys never got to really team up together. Do you guys practice a lot together?
No,
Never.
we
I don't know
don't
if
even
it was-
live anywhere close to each other.
Yeah.
I,
No.
mean, I see him at ropings.
Mhm.
I mean, all last year I was like, dang, Tyrone, you're healing really good. And then once they bumped his number, he just texted me yesterday and said, hey, you want to go up today? I was like, sure. Here you go, Kent Haley.
And for those of you that can't see, Kent Haley, who we talked about earlier in this episode, just walked up.
Stand by.
But no, that's the funny thing is, no, I don't think we've ever ran a practice pin steer together, really. We've just kind of, I called him yesterday and I said, hey, let's rope over there tomorrow. And he said, sounds like a plan. Worked out, I guess.
We'll do it a lot more.
Yeah, we're going to do a lot more now. Yeah.
And where are you from, California?
Just right outside of Dallas, Greenville I actually live in Leonard, but Greenville is the place that everyone knows. It's an hour east of Dallas, so that's where Cactus is.
I live in Midland now. Midland out there, a little outskirts called Greenwood. Right there in Greenwood, Texas. Actually, just bought a house out there probably a month and a half ago. So, yeah, I've been out there for a few years working, but finally decided to buy a house out there. So
what do you do?
I am a water coordinator for ExxonMobil out there for XTO. Take care of the water for the drilling rigs and the frac crews. Anything from getting it out of the ground to sending it to them to put back down hole. So that's what I do.
All right, and so, like I said, 12,000 split, 6,000 in. What's that money going to go to? Saving it or spending it?
Probably on my house that I bought.
Yeah.
Put money into it.
Yeah.
Do some stuff I've been wanting to do. So just a little extra cash to work on my place.
Yeah, mine is actually I have two good friends that are getting married this year, and they're both like one's in Hawaii and one's in California, so probably pay for those trips.
Yeah.
And
Take his,
on roping some
take his wife to a nice dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's steak. Circle Two
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Awesome. Well, congratulations, guys, and good luck in the next one. All right, hey everyone. I am sitting here with the Wildfire, the 22 all-girl champs. We got Brandy Hines and Danielle Lohman. You guys were just 39 and 95 on forehead. High call back, and you guys just went and made a clean run. I don't feel like anything fancy happened. It was just a nice run. Kind of just talk about your game plan going into that short round right there.
My game plan was exactly that. Not try to do anything fancy. Don't try to get in a hurry. Just take my first best shot and just go make a run.
Awesome. And what about you, Danielle?
My first thought was, I'm going to catch 2 feet. And then I was like, I'm not going to watch my header. I'm just going to watch the feet and look nowhere else. Yeah, that was my game plan.
And it worked.
Yeah, it worked.
Secured it,
Yeah.
2 feet, got a time, kept your high call spot. That's awesome. And you guys have never won the Wildfire before, correct?
No.
So, I mean, this is a really prestigious roping. What does it kind of mean to you to kind of win this roping?
It means so much to me. I actually remember watching my mom rope in the short round when I was little at the Wildfire All-Girl, back when it was at Toledo. And my second year to ever roping it was at Toledo, and I was so excited. I made the short round with my mom there, and it was like a big
That's
deal because it
awesome.
was the next day. So it's kind of been, me and my mom have roped together in this roping I've been roping for 5 years. So about 5 years we've entered it together.
That's awesome.
So it was really great to just finally win it.
How about you, Danielle?
With me, I mean, this year, it was bringing back memories of the first time I ever went to the Wildfire. I was telling my traveling partner that the first year I ever went, I was like 17 years old, didn't have no place, like didn't know nothing where I was going, and I had to go ride my horse 2 miles from where I live all the way to the road because I used to live on the reservation then, and it was so muddy. Like I could not get out with the horse in the trailer, so my dad made me ride all the way to the road.
Oh, jeez.
And then I got on the road and, ended up in Salado. That was my first time.
Mm-hmm.
Made it back short round, miss. I come back a couple years later with my traveling partner.
Mm-hmm.
Made it back short round, miss. And then this year I was like, you know what? I'm gonna come back short round, and it's gonna work. I believe it's gonna work this time.
It's gonna come together.
Yeah, it's gonna work because I've been coming here. Like, I'm gonna say this is my 4th or 5th time, and I've been coming every time and wanting to win this open just because. I mean, it's a Wildfire. Like, everyone wants to win it,
Oh, yeah.
So my game plan was to just come and do good. Best I could, and it worked out. And thanks to my partner, it made it pretty easy.
Some good handles.
Yeah,
solid handles right there.
Yeah,
awesome. And I mean, you guys had the best of the best women. I mean, you guys are phenomenal as well. But I mean, big names: Jackie Crawford, Larry Dionette, Jesse Rensburg. And you guys beat them. They've won this Open a bunch of times. All of them have. And so, kind of talk about, like, were you guys nervous knowing that they're on your tails? And I mean, the last 4, you guys had maybe 2 seconds in between all you guys. Talk about that. Just, were you nervous at all with all those names coming up behind you?
No, I really wasn't nervous, which I get to rope around them a lot, at the breakaways and at all the team ropings. And if there's anything I've ever learned from them, it's that when you're high caller, when it's time to just go make a run, you just go make a run. Like, don't get silly and don't try to throw fast. And I mean, that's something I've always looked up to with them. When it's time to just go win money, they just go do it. And so that was my plan, to just rope, use the same game plan that I think they would, which would just be to, see my start and just go catch my steer and handle it the best that I could.
Me getting nervous around them, I think it wore off now.
Yeah.
So
we've all been around them enough.
Yeah. I've been around them enough to where I just can't. I kind of pay attention. See who's up there and check out. Who catches 2 feet, who gets out. So like I just kind of just watch a little bit, but try to watch the ones that I know that are going to catch 2 feet. So
yeah,
it was it's a normal day getting. Used to roping with them a lot more, so it's pretty fun.
That's awesome.
I like it.
And so you guys split $6,900. What's that money gonna go towards? Anything special or more ropings?
Entry fees.
Yeah, lots of entry fees.
Same, going to Amarillo, San Antonio for the breakaway ropings. You know how it is getting down the road.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuel to be paid, maybe, hopefully, no blown tires, but sometimes extra tires. That's awesome. And let's talk about the horses you guys were on. They were pretty consistent horses, I thought. What was that little head horse you were on?
So we got him 2 years ago, and I did not get along with him at all.
Really?
So I gave him to my mom. I was like, you can heel on him. Like, I can't ride this horse. And he had been hurt, and we hadn't got to ride him for probably 6-7 months. And just like 3 weeks ago, I started exercising, and he was sound, so I started roping a few breakaway calves on him just to practice for myself, and he stayed sound. Well, the night before we left to come to the Wildfire, a guy was at our house trying to heel horse, and he's like, hey, can you head me a couple? And Sports Center was the only thing settled, and I was like, okay. So I ran 2, and I got off, and I was like, Mom, I think I'm going to take him to the Wildfire. She's like,
dang.
Are you sure? I was like, yeah, I'm sure. We're just going to try it. Like, he feels good, so. And he didn't try to do anything wrong, and he really worked the whole day, and that's kind of a hard spot for him, is staying hooked that many runs, because I think I made like 12 runs on him, because I was entered in the 11 outside too. So that was really tough for him, but he really, stayed there, but I had to just keep riding.
Yeah.
That was the hardest thing, trying to remember to just stay hustling on him.
Yeah. And how old is Sports Center?
He's 12.
12. Awesome. I mean, you look good on him, and he looked phenomenal. So you wouldn't be able to tell that you were just healing on him.
Right.
That's awesome. And what were you on?
I was on my buckskin. She's a 9-year-old mare that I raised and trained out from the reservation. And let's say she is just phenomenal. Like, I finally actually really cracked her out after last year because, to me, I felt like she wasn't ready to be like, you know, a breakaway / heel horse. So this past year when I went to Reno, I was like, I only took one horse because I got in the team roping, and then I ended up winning it. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get in the breakaway, screw it. And then from then on, she's just been, you know, I don't practice a whole lot of breakaway on her, just like a hair. So she gets a little nervous in the box. Like she kind of, you know, moves around. But she has just been working so good for me, like in the past year. And she has really stepped up her game. And she feels just like her mother. Like her mom was an amazing horse that I started roping on. And she was, you know, she's just like her mom, and I just love her. She's so awesome. Cute. And to make it way better, she's mine, but technically she's my niece's horse.
Oh, really?
Because when she was born, this horse was born, I didn't even know like how she was going to be or anything, but my niece's birthday was around the same time, and I said, you know what, you can have this horse. This is your horse. So like I get so many people like today people were like, you know, how much you want for your horse? And I'm like, she's not for sale. She's not even mine. I can't do it. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's my little horse. Her name is Boots.
Boots.
Yeah,
that's cute.
So
that
cute.
is so cute.
Yeah. My nieces were at home cheering. They're like, "Woo, Boots!" You don't even hear my name. You hear you hear the horse's name.
You're a nobody.
Yeah, right. They just love that their horse is just doing so good with their auntie. So I'm pretty proud of her. Yeah,
that's awesome. It must feel really good to have. I mean, even though they're not cheering for you, they're cheering for the horse.
Yeah.
But that must feel good to have your little nieces cheering.
Yeah, they just they even bell race on her. Like,
oh my gosh!
Before the BFI, I literally ran, I'm gonna say, less than 10 steers on her. She was out bell racing at junior rodeos, like not even in the practice pen with me. You know, she was just out with my nieces. That was it. It was good.
That's awesome. Yeah. They just got her freed up for you.
Yeah. They sure did.
And so you won the BFI?
Yes.
Who were you roping with out there?
I was roping with my cousin's sister, Debbie Robbins.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and we were high call, and I roped a leg, but I mean, it was just boom. We won it like within a few seconds, and it worked out. I guess it was meant for us to win.
It was your day.
Yeah.
Just like today was your day.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, and so just a little bit more background information about you guys, because obviously we're the ladies. We're not really pro level, but do you guys go to school or anything, or are you working or?
Yeah, I go to college. I'm a marketing major at LSU.
Awesome.
So yeah, I'm about to graduate in the summer. Almost done, finally.
Almost done. That's awesome. I know. I remember the day I graduated. It was like the best day ever. Right. It's finally done.
Yes, for sure.
That's awesome. And what about you, Danielle?
I rope and ride for a living and do a little work, side work, whatever I can get. You know,
just a little side hustling.
Yeah, and just pretty much rodeo, Indian rodeo, do a lot of Indian rodeo and jackpotting during the winter time. So it works out, you know, and then whenever I run a little low, I'll go work and figure it out and keep going.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And so do you live in Louisiana?
Yes.
Awesome. What town?
Folsom.
Folsom? Awesome. And what about you? Where are you from?
I live in Gilbert, Arizona, but I'm originally from the reservation out in Whitecomb and graduated from Holbrook, so it's been rodeoing for a while now. Yeah,
that's awesome. Awesome. Well, congratulations, you guys. I'm not going to keep you here any longer. I hope you guys go celebrate, because I think that's what I would be doing at this point. Awesome. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.